Yo, if they actually commit to killing off my boy Raphael, I'm done with this show. I ain't watching no season 2. I'll put my foot down and cancel this show. Now, not actually, but I might think about it for 30 seconds to a minute, because I like the show too much not to. But, that character, man, I think I said it in last video, but, like, seemingly the most interesting character in this show. Like, don't get it twisted, the whole dynamic with the family is without a doubt the most charming and impactful part of the show. But there's something about this knight who didn't feel like he fit in with this environment and seemingly was going against the church and almost trying to overthrow it. And after this episode, it's guaranteed that's exactly what he was doing. He was the one who sent the letter, which isn't really a surprise. He had a similar build as, well, the guy in the flashback there. But the thing about it was, did he kill For's parents? That was still up in the air. And all throughout the episode, I'm going back and forth in my head. Did he do it? Did he not do it? And most of the time I was coming to the conclusion that maybe he did technically kill the dad, but most likely it was going to be like he put him out of his misery or something. But it does seem like there's more to it. The thing about this is that whatever is about to happen, I don't see it being Raphael's end. Because it feels like he has this guilt, but it's not going to be the direct thing of like, oh, he hated someone and now feels guilty that their kid doesn't get to live. No, it's more so he failed a friend. And what's a better way to feel like you're not failing your friend? Looking after their daughter. Like that feels like they have to go that route, but only time will tell. Now, of course, I have full live reactions to all these Archdemon Dilemma episodes over on Patreon. If you want to see my full link and thought to this or any of these episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So let's get into what I think is being built up. Now, I can't say for sure, obviously, I don't read the source material, but my gut says he did kill the dad. But I don't think it's like he did it on purpose. I think he had to put the dad out of his misery, but I think the real guilt comes into, because what we now know is that For saw her dad with 3 knights, seemingly, and he flew off. Why would he fly off with some knights if he didn't trust them, right? And we can gather that Raphael wants to overthrow the church or get rid of its corruption. So he must have had some people that he was working with. Maybe there was some sort of disagreement, maybe something happened, and ultimately he was severely wounded. To the point that maybe, because as we see, right, like he got shot too close to his heart. He lost his arm and part of his chest, and his dragon regeneration isn't enough to heal him. Though, obviously, Zagan might be able to do something, but my point stands. So if something similar happened to the real dragon, the father, it is possible that the dad asked him to put him out of his misery. Like, do you want to just suffer and die, or do you want to go out rather peacefully? Now, he did eat the dragon's flesh, but, I mean, listen, if my homie's dying and my homie can give me some insane abilities, I'm pretty sure my homie's gonna say, take a nibble, bro. I don't really see that as evil or wrong, but that's just me. Though obviously as a kid, it's probably going to mess you up. She actually fell, and I know I shouldn't laugh at this. When For realized her dad was dead, she fell head first and bonked herself on the head. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but I'm not going to lie, that did crack me up, but I digress. So my gut is they were friends, they were allies, something happened, something sort of betrayal, had to put dad out of misery, and that's probably what happened. Now, could it be that he actually just killed? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the dad lashed out and he had to put him out of his misery. I don't know. But either way, I feel like what they're going to want to do, especially given what they've already started to do with Shastiel and everyone, like, it feels like characters aren't just here to be killed off, but these ones who are going to be main occurring characters are meant to be either redeemed or shifted into a new territory. The fact that he willingly saved For, despite losing an arm and would lose his life if nothing happens, says to me that this isn't a simple, I killed your father, I'm trying to make amends. It feels more like, I failed a best friend sort of a thing. Now, time will tell, but that's the vibe I'm getting. And that's really exciting for a narrative. And honestly, it's why it's kind of disappointing this isn't a 2-core, because what it feels like they're doing is by the end of the first core, the first 12 episodes, you're going to be introduced to all the main players for a good while in terms of your main characters, your main supporting characters. And I really feel like a 13 through 24 would really start fleshing them out, their personalities and their interpersonal stories. So let's hope, fingers crossed that they do a season 2, because this really feels like this was just the establishing stuff. It's fun establishing. We have a family. I mean, our boy's literally looking at her as a daughter, man. Like, it is heartwarming as heck to look at where we started out with this man to literally looking at he has a wife and a kid now. Now, granted, did he do it faster than your average guy? Yeah, most people gotta wait at least 9 months to get a kid in their lives, but he did it. He did, just like that. But it's just nice. Like, this was an episode that was actually a little unexpected because you're expecting that there probably is going to be some hands thrown. But in actuality, some of the longer moments were more actually focused on the interpersonal stuff, like especially with Neffy and everyone. It's nice to see all that. It's also kind of funny how Barbados is like, oh shit, I forgot to close the shadow. Whoops. Just doesn't even, like, really take more ownership than just like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, huh? But it was an exciting episode, a little drama filled, and I only say little because like a lot of it's kind of what you expect, but there's definitely some spice you're probably not quite expecting. But the thing about this show's production, which I like, is I actually don't think a lot of people are going to claim this show is the best produced show of the season or it has the best action of the season. But it's interesting because they have this way of stylizing things to make the more basic animation for their attacks feel a little more visually impressive. I think if you look at Zagan as an example, he has like a lot of crest-based magic, and those details on a static level look cool, so you give it a little illuminating glow, and it looks visually impressive. But when you actually look at it, the sword swings and stuff, it is actually a lot of static shots and very basic animation, but it never really feels bad because it's a consistent art style. It's a colorful art style, and the magical side of it is, you know, it has some visual flair to it to kind of cover up how kind of stiff some of it actually looks. In actuality, the animation for the fights isn't that great, but it doesn't actually feel bad when you watch it because of how they stylize things. It's actually a clever way they went about this show, and honestly, if a season 2 looked exactly like season 1 is, I'd be a completely happy camper. I don't really feel like we need to switch studios or anything. I actually think they're doing a good job, and for the style of show they are, it feels like they kind of matched a tone and consistency that you'd want to see in a show like an Archdemon's Dilemma. Now, we have reached a turning point. It really feels like Raphael, if he survives, would be like the last main player we'd be introduced into this makeshift family. I mean, we got the crazy uncle, we got the babysitter, and Grandpa, I guess, has been introduced. Like, it kind of feels like the vibe we're getting. Let's see where they take it, but I definitely am concerned they're actually going to kill my best boy off, and I need to see more of him. So, fingers crossed he pulls through. Let me know what you thought down below. Theories if you got any. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're around here. And, of course, ring that bell so you know if I want to upload more. Like I mentioned, we have those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout-out. So today, we have 10 Crazy, Steven, Buwanake, Monica Luzuria, and we also have Kyle Kalwachuk. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.